I need your help! I have an insanely long list of possibilities for this movie marathon that I'm hosting in April, and I need you guys to tell me which of these movies I should prioritize and make a definite watch for this movie marathon. And by the way, you can actually join in for the movie marathon, so it's not just my movie marathon. You guys can be participating too and picking out your own watch list. But for now, I need you to help me with my watch list desperately. So let's go through it right now. Welcome back, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Nightmares and Nostalgia, where, yeah, we talk about everything from horror movies to nostalgic favorites and beyond. Today, like I said, I need help with narrowing down my 50 movie watch list for my event, Old School April. And if you guys are new here, welcome, welcome. I am Kelsey, and if you have not heard of Old School April, I will tell you a little bit about it. It's just a month-long read-a-thon, watch-a-thon, activity-a-thon. You can do any elements that you want, just the watching part, just the reading part, just the activity part, or any combo of those parts as well. So I am excited. I'll be doing all three parts of the event, and it is based around nostalgia, but you can watch newer things, and there are some newer movies on my list that reflect that. An easy way to pick out movies for this event, if you're joining in or thinking of joining in, is just make sure that any movie you pick can fulfill at least one prompt. We have over 20 movie watching prompts, and many movies will fit multiple prompts at the same time. We've got prompts about watching comedies, prompts about watching a Nick Cage movie, prompts about watching thrillers or action movies, prompts about watching a romance. We've got prompts about watching a giallo. So there are so many prompts, and you can basically watch any genre you want from any decade you want, and it's very, very flexible. So if you haven't yet signed up, please think about doing so down below. I'll link my announcement videos if you want more info, as well as the sign-up sheet, as well as our Discord link if you want to join a really fun, nostalgic community of great people, because it's been a blast so far. The Discord's already popping. It's been great. All right, so now for my list. I will go through this list with you guys just to give you a rundown. I've got 3 movies from the 2010 to basically 2025 era of time. I also have 3 movies from the early 2000s, so 2000 to 2009. I've got 24 movies that were released in the 90s. I've got 14 movies on my list that were released in the 80s, 3 movies on my list from the 70s, 1 movie on my list from the 60s, and 2 movies from my list from the 50s. All right, so here we go. We have my 2 host recommendations, which I'll start off with. These are definite, so I don't need you guys' opinion on these, but anything that I say that is not set in stone or that I haven't seen already, then I'd love to know, do you think that movie is a priority? Why or why not? Have you enjoyed it? Etc., etc., and kind of make your argument for me making it a priority for April. All right, so my 2 host recommendations, and there is a prompt about watching a host rec, and I have other co-hosts who will be revealing their host recs, but I specifically have 2 of my own. Everyone else will have 2 movies of their own and 2 books of their own. My 2 movies are It Takes Two, the wonderful family-friendly movie from 1995. This one stars Kirstie Alley. It also stars Steve Guttenberg. Oh man, Steve Guttenberg, he went through a lot with those fires, so did a lot of people, but I really like him, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to highlight a very great movie that he starred in back in the day. And the essential premise, very loose: 2 identical strangers, 2 different worlds, 1 perfect match. It is somewhat of a romance between Kirstie Alley and Steve Guttenberg, their characters, and it's fantastic. And the Olsen twins, I think this is my favorite Olsen twins movie from that era. This is streaming on Hoopla and Paramount Plus. If you want to also watch it, again, you get a point just because it's a host rec, and it fits a number of other prompts as well, which every prompt it fulfills is worth a point. My second host rec is a really fun one, and that is Once a Thief from 1991. This one's directed by John Woo, very famous for doing a lot of action movies, and this one stars Chow Yun-fat, and he is one of my favorite actors ever. I love him. There are a lot of other John Woo movies that I like and that I could have put on my list as a recommendation, but I decided to go with this one because no one talks about this one. I think it's underwatched and it's a lot of fun. So this one is described as 3 orphans grow up to become art thieves under the tutelage of a crime boss. Romance complicates matters when the trio are double-crossed. Again, lots of humor, lots of action, and a little bit of romance. I remember it being kind of quirky and funny, but it's been years since I've seen it. Can't wait to rewatch it. And as of right now, this one is available to rent on Amazon. Next up, a movie that just turned over 20 years old. This year it turns 21. It's Napoleon Dynamite. We do have a prompt about watching a comedy. This would fit that, and it would probably fit a lot of other prompts as well. Directed by Jared Hess, one of my favorite quirky, weird, nonsensical, about nothing type of movies. And the tagline is, if you don't know what it's about somehow, he's out to prove he's got nothing to prove. I think the movie is about, like Seinfeld's a show about nothing, Napoleon Dynamite's kind of like a movie about nothing, but it's also semi a coming of age story, just with quirkier characters. And I saw this in the theater, so this is going to definitely be nostalgic for me to rewatch it. It's been a couple of years, and I just can't wait to revisit and quote some of my favorite lines. Next up, a movie I watched a lot growing up on Disney Channel because I was a big fan of Disney Channel, and I loved Disney Channel original movies. I don't know if this is an official one, but I always considered it one. This is You Lucky Dog, and in honor of my dog Jackson and his memory, I did want to put in like a dog-related movie, and this one, it's been quite a while since I've seen it. It's kind of dumb. I remember Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains, he's in it, and his character is like a dog psychic, and he's been faking it for years, but then he gets this connection with a dog from a rich family, and he almost like turns into the dog at points, if I remember. Anyway, I don't care. It's gonna be a blast. That one I've already seen. All these movies so far that I've mentioned, I have seen, and they're mostly definites. But I would still love your opinion if you've seen them and what you think of them too, even though these are ones that I'm kind of pretty certain I'm gonna get to. Next up, another movie that is a Disney-related movie, and just like You Lucky Dog, you can find this one streaming on Disney+. This is A Bug's Life from 1998. It has been freaking forever since I saw this movie, so I cannot wait to rewatch it. I just remember loving it, and the description says, on behalf of oppressed bugs everywhere, an inventive ant named Flick hires a troop of warrior bugs to defend his bustling colony from a horde of freeloading grasshoppers. And I don't know, I loved this movie growing up. Next up, a pretty terrible movie, and I wish it was streaming, but it isn't. I think I own it on DVD, so I hope I'm right, because I really want to watch this really bad. The Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993. Yeah, it's corny as hell. It's freaking terrible. And there's these crazy Goombas, but I like them, and they got like little heads and big bodies. Freaking, I love this movie, even though it really is, like, if you look up, I'm sure, Rotten Tomatoes scores, it's probably abysmal. I don't care, bitch! The tagline, by the way, says, "This ain't no game!" I don't know. Anyway. Next up, I also want to rewatch this Robin Williams movie, and we do have a prompt about watching specifically a Robin Williams movie. This is Flubber from 1997. I'm excited about this one, but also, I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much as I liked it as a kid, because I remember, even as a kid, thinking it was cheesy, but you know, I have embraced cheese in my older years and corniness, so perhaps it will still work for me. And this tagline says, "Catch it if you can," and it is streaming on Disney Plus, like a lot of the other recent movies that I just mentioned. Next up, this is a very specific pick, but I have fond memories of this and watched it on DVD many times as like a preteen, and that is Monty Python Live at the Hollywood Bowl from 1982. You're probably wondering, why didn't you just pick a Monty Python movie, or maybe rewatch the TV series that they had? And I love their movies, I love their show, but what I love about Live at the Hollywood Bowl, it takes like some of my favorite Monty Python sketches, and they perform it live, well, live back in the day when they filmed this, on stage at the Hollywood Bowl, and it's so good. I love it, and I used to have it memorized. That's how much I liked it. So it has been probably 15 years since I've seen it, so I'm really eager to just go back and check it out yet again and see if it makes me laugh just as much as it always used to. Another movie I know I saw on Disney Channel when I was growing up, I don't think this is considered a DCOM, aka a Disney Channel original movie. Nonetheless, I remember it being cheesy like most decoms, but also enjoyable. So this is Punks, P.U.N.K.S. And this is from 1999. It is not on Disney Plus, but you can find it streaming if you're looking to watch it on Plex, Pluto TV, and the Roku channel. And this actually stars a young Jessica Alba, and I forgot, apparently Henry Winkler is in it, but when I was looking through my watch list, I saw his name listed on the Letterboxd page, and I was like, I don't remember Henry Winkler being in this, but apparently he is, so I will get a refresher on that movie if I get to it. Again, this is just kind of like a large 50 movie pile of possibilities, but again, all of these so far I've listed are all rewatches, but soon we're going to get to a huge chunk that I have never seen before, and this is where I'm going to need your opinion. So stay tuned, and please bear with me while I get through these rewatches. And again, I still want to hear your opinions about these, even though I've seen them. I'd love to know, no matter what, even if you dislike them, I would like to know why, or why you love them. Yet another Disney movie, but this one is an underrated one in that I think a lot of people forget about this because it doesn't feel like a Disney movie. And that's all I remember about it, because I haven't seen this since I was a little kid. And all I remember is that there was a really scary villain. Other than that, really no memory of it. This is The Black Cauldron from 1985, and this was my co-host Coral's host rec, I think a year or so ago. So it's not her host rec this year, but it was in a previous year, but I didn't get to it. So I am trying to rectify that and actually get to a rewatch of it this year. Hidden by darkness, guarded by witches, discovered by a boy, stolen by a king. Whoever owns it will rule the world or destroy it. Dun dun dun. And that is on Disney Plus again. Alright, here we come to a large chunk of the list that I have not seen before. So this is where your opinion is going to be so crucial for me. I need help. I hate decisions. That's why I want you guys to make the decisions for me. Please help. Tales from the Hood. I am so excited about this. I can't believe I've never seen it. It is from 1995, and the tagline says, "Your most terrifying nightmare and your most frightening reality are about to meet on the streets." Next up, a family-friendly movie that I cannot believe I haven't seen either. Explorers from 1985, directed by Joe Dante, and the tagline says, "The adventure begins in your own backyard." And you could find this streaming on Hoopla and Canopy. Here is a more horror-leaning movie that I haven't seen. This is Santa Sangre from 1989. The premise says, a former circus artist escapes from a mental hospital to rejoin his mother, who is the leader of a strange religious cult. That sounds super, super intriguing to me, and you could find this streaming on Prime, Tubi, and Freevee. Another movie that would be new to me if I get to it, this is Death Becomes Her, released in 1992, directed by Robert Zemeckis, and the tagline says, "In one small bottle, the fountain of youth, the secret of eternal life, the power of an ancient potion. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't." And you could find this streaming on Peacock if you have a subscription there. Here's one I'm not sure I'm going to get to, only because you need to have this on DVD. It's not streaming anywhere. I probably could find it on YouTube, so I'm sure I'll just watch it that way if I do get to it. Rock and Roll from 1983. A malevolent rock star kidnaps a female singer to force her to participate in the summoning of a demon, and her band must help her stop him. Semi-comedy, semi-romance is next up on my list. This is Grosse Pointe Blank from 1997. Even a hitman deserves a second shot. And you can rent this numerous different places on numerous different sites. Next up, another movie that I think I could have seen before, but I have no memory of it, so I'm just gonna say I haven't seen it. Mortal Kombat from 1995. "Nothing in this world has prepared you for this," says the tagline. I love these old taglines. They're great. You can rent this one to many different places, including from Amazon. Next up, The Cutting Edge. This one's more of a romance. This is from 1992. I believe there's ice skating in the premise, and I like the tagline a lot. It says, "The ultimate love-skate relationship," instead of love-hate, love-skate. Anyway, freaking dumb, but amazing. Dumb in a good way. I am excited about that. The Cutting Edge you can find streaming on Tubi, Hoopla, the Roku channel, and Pluto TV. Next up, another romance-leaning movie, but I think this one has like a darker twist to it. This is True Romance from 1993. Another one I'm surprised I have never seen before, and the tagline says, "Stealing, cheating, killing. Who said romance was dead?" And you can rent this, again, numerous places, including Amazon. Next up, I'm gonna look for this on YouTube, but if you're looking to stream it, you need to get it on DVD because I couldn't find it anywhere streaming, but I hope I can find it. Dolly Dearest from 1991, and the tagline, simple yet effective, it's time to play. But you gotta say it in like a menacing, sinister, like creepy doll voice. Next up, we've got a Nick Cage movie, but a Nick Cage movie that I have not seen, and this is Valley Girl from 1983, and the tagline says, she's cool, he's hot. She's from the valley. He's not. Whatevs, okay. And again, Nick Cage movie, Say No More, I'm there, I'm ready. You can find it streaming on Fubo, Hoopla, MGM Plus, Tubi, Roku channel, or Pluto TV, and I'm sure some other places as well. Next up, a movie recommended to me by my good friend Cameron. You can find Cameron at the channel Library Macabre. Also, he's one of our OSA co-hosts, and he suggested I watch Little Darlings from 1980. This is kind of like a summer camp story, kind of coming of age, and it says don't let the title fool you, because the two main characters, I think, are trying to see who can lose their virginity first, and they're like 15-year-old girls, so I hear it's very, very heartfelt and sweet and fun and funny, but I'll see if I'm able to get to it. Again, another movie you could rent from almost any service. Next up, we've got an Arnold movie, and this one is one I have rated on Letterboxd, but I also have no memory of this, so I feel like I really haven't seen this at all. So I'm just gonna say that I haven't seen it, and I feel like it's a crime. This is Total Recall from 1990. I was trying to do the Arnold thing. Anyway, I can't do it. I'm trying to do like an Arnold voice, like screaming voice, but it's not working. They stole his mind. Now he wants it back. Very simple tagline. You could find this streaming on MGM Plus, Paramount Plus, and Pluto TV. And all I have in my notes here is Arnold in caps. Next up, this is the second John Woo movie on my list, but I have not seen this one, unlike my host rec, Once a Thief, which I have seen. A Better Tomorrow is this one, and I have not seen it, but I really want to get to it. However, it does say disc only when I looked it up, like you have to order the disc from Amazon. I can't find it streaming. It could be on YouTube. I'd rather watch it in like better quality than that, but Brothers by Blood, Enemies by Chance, Killers by Nature. And this one also stars Chow Yun-fat, Say No More. This one would be a priority if I knew I had an easy way to watch it. Next up, an animated movie, The Last Unicorn from 1982, and the tagline, there's magic in believing. I think that's a great tagline. I think I've seen The Last Unicorn as a kid, but I have no memory of it. And you can find this streaming on Prime, Freevee, Peacock, Plex, Tubi, Vudu, and I'm sure a few more places. The next couple of movies on my list are all like body horror, ooze, slime, goo related, because I am hoping to do a movie watching vlog and a reading vlog all surrounding slime. If you guys don't know, I have another channel. It is called Slime and Slashers, and the slime part of that name is from my love for 90s Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is kind of synonymous with slime. So anyway, that's where that part of the name comes from. The slashers part is from my love of horror, of course. So 90s nostalgia plus horror, that's kind of like the vibe, not only of my book channel, but of this channel, Nightmares and Nostalgia. Hence why nostalgia, you know, for retro shit, and nightmares for horror. So kind of like to mix that here too, but movie stuff and TV stuff. But these next few movies I put on my list specifically because either I hear that they were really goopy or gross kind of effects, or they just have slime involved in the plot in some way. Starting with Slugs, which apparently is kind of gooey. The tagline says, they ooze, they slime, they kill. The tagline alone makes me know that this is a perfect choice, even though, you know, the subject matter of the movie is not slime, it is slugs, but slugs do excrete slime, so I think it works. It was released in 1988. I have read the book, which is a lot of fun. Great animal attack, really zany out there. It's by Sean Hudson. If you guys are readers and want to check out something in book form, then I do suggest Slugs. I think it's a fun time. Not my favorite animal attack, but I did enjoy it. You could find this movie, though, streaming on Hoopla and Tubi. Another oopy goopy movie, we've got Street Trash, released in 1987, and it says things in New York are about to go down the toilet. Yeah, literally, because there's like a toilet on the movie poster. Anyway, you can find this streaming on Shudder and AMC Plus. and I am eager to get to it. Next up, we've got an older movie, a movie from the 60s, The Green Slime from 1968. And the tagline just says, "The green slime are coming." Okay, cool. You can rent this in numerous different places. Next up, a movie that's more known for having like gooey effects rather than any kind of slime or ooze plot, but anyway, House 2, the second story from 1987, and I have seen the first House movie, and I enjoyed it, so it'd be fun to watch the second one, and the tagline just says, "It's getting weirder." And you can find this streaming on Arrow, Tubi, Pluto TV, and Plex. Next up, we're still sticking with the slimy, oozy vibes, and we have The Incredible Melting Man from 1977. An astronaut exposed to cosmic rays outside of Saturn's rings returns to Earth and begins to melt away. You can find the streaming on Fubo and MGM+. We're nearing the tail end of the list, but here are some more movies for that same vlog. Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster from 1959, and it just says, "Slimy glob of doom engulfs the world." And I don't know if that's the description or the tagline, but I think it works either way. And you could find that one on Tubi. I think that one's gonna be a priority for me. If you guys have seen it, let me know. Is it worth it? And last potential movie for this slime movie vlog is The H-Man from 1958. I believe this is the oldest movie on my entire list, and it says, "Nuclear tests create a radioactive man who can turn people into slime." I'm sold. You could find this one on Tubi as well. Last year for Old School April, I read The Never-Ending Story, and I've seen the first Never-Ending Story movie many times. But if you've read the book actually has so much more in it than the movie does. So I'm kind of curious about The Never-Ending Story 2, hence why I'm actually putting it on my list this year. The Never-Ending Story 2, the next chapter, 1990. I want to see if any of the things in this movie are from the book, because there's a lot in the book that is not in the first The Never-Ending Story movie. So it'll be a big comparison thing for me. And you can rent this movie on numerous different services like Amazon and so forth. Next up, a movie that is a definite and a movie that I have seen. So we're going back to a rewatch. A lot of these other movies after this are more movies I have not seen, but this one is my movie club watch for the month of April. So if you guys didn't know, I did launch a movie club where we will be watching a movie every single month. I have a few of the picks released. Some of the other picks are not released yet, so stay tuned, but we will watch a movie every month and we will talk about it like the second week of the month after. So Donnie Darko is my official movie club pick for the month of April, and we will talk about it in May, in the beginning of May, like the second week of May. So you can choose to watch it in April, or you can choose to watch it in May, but I've seen it many times. I may watch the theatrical version in April, because there's two different versions, and then the director's cut, which kind of gives you more info. It's less to speculate about if you watch the director's cut. I might watch that one right before my live show on Donnie Darko. So this is from 2001. It's one of my favorite weird movies ever, and you can find this streaming on Hulu, Prime, Freevee, Tubi, Plex, the Criterion Channel. If you're wondering what version you should watch if you want to watch it to join in my live discussion that I'm going to have in May, then I would advise, if you've never seen it before, watch the theatrical version because there's so much more you can speculate about. You're free to also watch both versions if you'd prefer, or if you've seen it many times, it really doesn't matter which you watch, but I will say I will probably discuss both. I will start off discussing the theatrical version, and then I will go into the director's cut, which will probably reveal more, so I might even say, okay, for people who've never seen the director's cut, these will be spoilers, and just be aware. So I might do like a two-part thing where I just give a warning, and people can either stay for that part of the chat or decide to leave and just go watch it on their own and then come back and listen to the rest of the chat after they've seen the director's cut. And to go along with watching Donnie Darko, I also want to watch this documentary called Deus Ex Machina, The Philosophy of Donnie Darko. And this was released in 2016, and you could find this on Canopy and Tubi. And I think this will add some depth to my discussion that I'm going to have in May. So I'm really excited to watch this documentary. I've never seen it before. Next up, we've got a very strange movie, or at least I hear it's strange. I've never seen it, but I've heard things like people watched this as a kid and they were really creeped out or scarred by it, or they were just like weirded out by it in general. And one of the people who told me this was my friend Nathaniel Toll, but I've also heard it from others, so it's not just him. My friend Nathan has actually just recently written an article about this movie, and the movie is The Peanut Butter Solution, and it is from 1985, and it is going to be in our zine. And I kind of mentioned that, yes, Old School April will have an official zine. Details are coming very, very soon. Just waiting for the proof. But yes, Nathaniel Toll, he wrote an article all about this movie, so I'm going to read his article, and then I'm going to watch the movie, and it's going to be great. So this is kind of like a definite on my list, and it says a hair-raising comedy adventure. And I think the tagline is because this kid puts peanut butter in his hair. So hair-raising, peanut butter all up in your hair, I don't know, whatever. It's available to stream on Tubi, Roku Channel, Vudu, Plex, and Hoopla. Next up, a older movie, and one that I'm very surprised I haven't seen. You could even call this one a classic, and that is The Warriors from 1979. It's kind of like a gang movie, like gangs join together to try to take over the city of New York, I believe. You could find this one streaming on MGM Plus or Paramount Plus. Next up, a old movie that I only remember the trailer for this movie because it was on a lot of old school VHS tapes at the beginning of different tapes, and that is Prehysteria from 1993. So again, never watched the movie as a kid, but did watch the trailer very many times because it was in the opening on a lot of my VHS tapes. So, and this was released in 1993. The premise says a young boy and his family embark on a series of adventures when the boy finds some mysterious eggs which hatch to reveal a brood of baby dinos. You can find this one on Prime, Freevee, Peacock, Tubi, and the Roku channel. Next up, another Nick Cage movie on my list, but this one is a newer Nick Cage movie, and it is from 2021, and it is Pig. Apparently, it's really, really sweet and cute, and Nicolas Cage essentially is just worried about finding his pet pig. I just hear it's good. And because we have a Nicolas Cage prompt, I thought, why not? This will fit, even though it's a newer movie. It doesn't matter. And you could find this one on Fubo, Paramount Plus, and on Canopy. Next up, a movie that was recommended to me, again, by my friend Cameron and also my friend Benjamin. They actually bought me the DVD of this, and that is Kids Club from 2022. I think it's a compilation of different nostalgic things, and apparently it's really zany and really fun, and obviously nostalgic, so I'm just gonna watch the DVD copy I have. I don't know if you were to watch it, where you could find it, but I'm gonna watch my DVD, and thank you so much to Cameron and Benjamin for getting me my DVD of it. Next up, a movie I probably may not get to. It says disc only, so it's not streaming. I'm sure it's on YouTube, but I may actually save it for another watch-a-thon I'll host later in the year, and that is The American Scream from 1988, and it's a horror-leaning movie. Sounds like a lot of fun, and I forgot why I even added it to my list, but I don't know. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it down below. Next up, going back to my friends Cameron and Benjamin, they also gifted me a Blu-ray copy of this next movie on my list, Gentlemen Broncos. It's another movie directed by Jared Hess, who is the director of Napoleon Dynamite, but I have never seen this one. Apparently, I think this aspiring writer goes to like a fantasy writer convention, I think. Anyway, Cameron and Benjamin highly recommended it to me. They said they think I would love it, so that's the only push I really need. I'll just end up watching it on the Blu-ray they got me. So thank you guys so much for gifting me that, and I think I'm going to end up getting to it. And last movie on this list that I have not seen, I have a few more rewatches after this one, but the last one that is a potential that it would be a new to me movie is The Good Son from 1993. Of course, this stars my boy Macaulay Culkin. I love Macaulay. Then and now, freaking he can do no wrong. He was at a wrestling show recently. When they showed him, I was like, Macaulay! Anyway, I do watch wrestling. That's a story for another day. But anyway, this also stars a young Elijah Wood, apparently. And the tagline says, "Evil has many faces." And you can rent this one from numerous sites. Alright guys, so out of those movies I have never seen, let me know which ones you think should be my priorities. You know, you can give me 5, 10, whatever. Just drop below whichever ones you think are like a must watch and that I need to get to sooner rather than later. And let's top it off with the last few, which are rewatches. This is a definite watch. This will happen, and I will probably play this as a watch party. Another reason for you guys to check out our Discord is I host watch parties, and basically it's me playing the movie. You join the channel and you watch me playing the movie. So you don't have to rent it. You don't have to do anything except for join the voice channel and watch along, and you can chat even along as we watch, because there's like a chat little text box if you watch on your computer where you can type as you watch. So very fun. The best part about Old School April, in my opinion, because it's a very like community focused aspect of it, is this watch party stuff that we do. So please check it out. Join our Discord if that sounds fun to you. But I will be playing a watch party for this, and it's Candyman from 1992. Because if you don't know, Old School April is a team-based event, and one of the teams we have this year is Candyman Crew. I'm on Candyman Crew, and of course I'll be playing Candyman, the basis for Candyman Crew, for a watch party. And the tagline says, "The pain will be exquisite." And you can rent this numerous places. I will rent it and again stream it for you guys on the OSA Discord, so stay tuned for that. Next up, a movie that makes me cry. Oh, it's such a heartfelt movie and it's so underrated. This is Fly Away Home from 1996. It's about a girl who ends up getting attached to this flock of geese who she finds the eggs and they hatch and they basically think she's their mom, and they have to learn how to migrate or they're going to get their feathers clipped. It's really heartfelt. It's got a lot of grief depiction in it, which is really heart-wrenching, but it's a wonderful movie. I wish more people talked about it. I cannot wait to rewatch it. I own it, and you can rent it numerous places if you do not own it on DVD like I do, so highly recommend that movie because I feel like a lot of people did not watch that one back when it was released. Next up, we've got The People Under the Stairs from 1991, and this would be a rewatch for me. This is directed by Wes Craven. This one's got a lot of great social commentary, and I think it's one of the most underrated Wes Craven movies. It is so good, and it's funny too. It's funny and it's kind of like offbeat a little bit in its humor, but it has like a lot of dark humor. It's more like kind of darker tinged, but it's so well done. I love it all around. And it says, in every neighborhood there is one house that adults whisper about and the children cross the street to avoid. This one you can rent numerous places. Another movie I hope to rewatch is an animated movie called The Princess and the Goblin. This one's from 1991, and it says, an enchanting princess, an outrageous goblin, a magical adventure for the entire family. This is only available on DVD, like if you order one from Amazon, but I have it on VHS, so maybe I could hook it up and just watch it that way for old time's sake. We'll see. Another animated movie that I'm hoping to watch or rewatch is Robin Hood from 1973. This is another older movie on my list, but it's been forever since I've seen this movie. I used to watch it all the time growing up, and you could find this one streaming on Disney+. Next, another animated movie, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story from 1993. I have vague memories about this one, but I really don't have a lot of vivid memories, except for the dinosaurs are scary and then they turn cartoonish and like have a conscience because they take a pill or something. And there's a kid who gets attached to them when they have like a conscience and a soul. So anyway, that's the vague premise, I believe, and you can rent this one numerous places. We'll see if I get to it. I've been meaning to get to it for years, but I never do, but maybe this is the year. And last but not least, if you were to ask me back when I was 13 or so what my favorite movie was, actually, even as far back as when I was probably 8 years old, the year this came out, I loved this movie. I watched it probably too young, but it's The Fifth Element, released in 1997. You could find it on Pluto TV. Again, as a kid, growing up, this was one of my favorite movies ever. I would play it at sleepover parties. I would make my friends watch it. I would quote it. There's this great part where she's like, more chicken. Wonderful quotes. It's a really quirky movie, kind of sci-fi leaning, which I don't really like a lot of sci-fi stuff, at least not in book form, but in movie form, I'm more like cool with that type of movie. So The Fifth Element is like the top of the top when it comes to sci-fi for me. Whew. Okay guys, I know that was so long. I'm so sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. What do you think about my watch list? Shout out any of the movies I should make a priority, including any of my rewatches that you think I should, like, make myself get to. I like how I'm making it seem like, get to it or else. But anyway, I am so hyped for Old School April. Again, if you want more info about what it entails, how to join, I will link both my announcement videos below. You can just be a movie lover and join in. You don't have to like reading or doing thematic activities, even though you can participate in those aspects of the event as well. Or you don't have to. Just do the movie watching part and the TV watching part if you'd like. Again, I really feel like this event has something for everyone, and I hope more movie people come to learn about it because I think it's more of a popular thing with reading people because they know about events like this and movie people don't as much. So fingers crossed that we get some new peeps, and I am so excited about everything that is going to happen in the next month or so. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait to watch some of these new to me movies and then hopefully rewatch some of my faves. And I'm just so hyped. What are you guys planning on watching? Are you going to participate in Old School April? I would love to know any of that. Please leave a little VHS tape down below just to say you were here if you don't feel like answering any of my other questions or suggestions for leaving comments. Please consider leaving a like or subscribing if you haven't already. I would truly appreciate it. It helps my channel grow. But for this time, guys, that is it for me. Until next time, guys, keep on killing it. Bye, guys.